In the Gospel, we're told how one day when Jesus was preaching, they brought a woman to him who was arrested for committing adultery. It's not a parable, it actually happened. Did I really have to get kicked in the teeth, feel rejected by heaven above, before I could come to realize the gift of knowing how much I was loved? Our family were always religious, with God-given priests for our guides. And the best way for us to serve God our Lord was to follow what they should decide. I was blessed by the gift of a husband, sensible, good-looking and sound. But once we were blessed with 2 boys and a girl, after that he was never around. As a mother, I'm not greatly gifted, and I struggled to cope on my own. Walking, says the psalm, in the valley of dark, but not in my own comfort zone. The little boy's teacher was a wonderful help. Encouraged them, got me out of me head. Through him, the Lord lifted the darkness once more. And I knew God meant what he said. I then realized I was doing okay, much better than I thought up to date. Life's bound to be tough for single mum, and my kids always thought I was great. By allowing myself to be valued and loved, but not by my husband, I saw, though my children and I were smiling again, I knew I was breaking God's law. Thanking God every day, again and again, for the wonderful gift I'd received. I knew jolly well in the depth of my heart my religious practice deceived. To my horror, my husband was watching, setting a trap to nounce me. To our priests, who considered the word of the law, not what its meaning should be. For them, the law was a weapon. My guilt and advantage they'd won. They dragged me to Jesus in the temple itself, telling everyone what I had done. Could no one imagine my feelings, standing stared up by hundreds of eyes? A disgusting, adulterous woman, a prostitute mum in disguise. In the crowd was my brother in tears. Tears of sorrow for me or for shame. The teacher had taken my children that day, but their classmates and families all came. Some were tut-tutting, some giggling, others enjoying the scene. Not looking at Jesus, but all eyes on me, my fear and my shame to be seen. My fear of being condemned, afraid what the sentence might be. Some had brought stones in the hope of some fun. No hint of a feeling for me. As I said, we were always religious, and our priests were guides from above, showing us all how best to reach God, the God of compassion and love. And here were those priests in the temple, so keen to make Jesus respond. I was out of my depth when they quoted the law, but certainly Jesus caught on. Eventually he did give an answer, though I couldn't quite hear him or see. One by one he sent them all packing. dead quiet, just Jesus and me. He looked up and gave the impression he wanted me all on my own, to say in a way I can never describe, he didn't blame me for what I had done. I remember exactly the words that he used. Each one of them I've pondered and stored. Did no one condemn you, then neither do I. Now go and don't sin any more. He didn't explain what he meant by the words, now sin and go and don't sin any more. I had the impression that his understanding was loving, not keeping the law. In the Gospel, they've noted the words that he spoke, but no way could they ever express the tone of his voice and the look that he gave, conveying such deep tenderness. Yes, I did have to get kicked in the teeth, feel rejected by heaven above, before I could come to acknowledge the gift of knowing how much I am loved.